I'm Tom.
And I'm Molly.
Welcome to Friends at Gameology, hosted by MoonlightCrew.com.
Reviews for science.
In 7 minutes or less. This one is a preview for science because we're looking at Scythe, and it's currently on Kickstarter, so we have a Kickstarter preview in store.
This is the prototype of the game, so not all the components are going to be the same.
Not all of them. Don't look at any of these components. These could all be changed out. So, Scythe is a game of resource management, area control, and variable player powers. There's a lot going on in this game. Rather than tell you all the rules, which would take much longer than 7 minutes, I'll just say that you are trying to get the most money, which will equal points at the end of the game, to win. The game ends when at least one person, or the first person, to place all 6 of their stars on the board. And that's just fulfilling different objectives. Maybe putting out all of your mechs.
Pretty much maxing out any of the
Maybe putting out
involved.
all of your upgrades. Yeah. Maybe putting out all of your workers. Maxing out your popularity, whatnot. And so that's how you get your stars out, and 6 ends the game. Whoever has the most coins wins. Simplicity versus complexity.
This game is a game. There's a lot going on. So it's going to be more complex. To teach it sometimes seems daunting, but at the same time, what you do on your turn is very simple, right? So Tom is showing you a player board. These are variables. So each player has its own power, but then these are also different that switch out between game to game. So the same player is not going to have the same board. So what you can do on your action is there's 4 spaces. You can take one of those spaces actions. The top, the bottom, or both. That's it. And so on your turn, you're going to be, okay, well, I have all this stuff to do, but I'm going to move this turn, so I'm going to do my turn. Or I'm going to gain resources this turn, and that's what I'm going to do. So it is a big game, but it's very simple in what you need to do on your turn.
I find that this game is a heavy game. However, halfway, let's say, after your first couple of turns, you'll know how the player board works and how to take the actions. And halfway through your first game, you'll then understand the strategy you need to pursue. Which is nice because they actually include in the rulebook a little thing that says don't try to get all the rules right at first. Just try to push buttons and pull levers and see what happens. And as you do that, you're going to kind of find out, oh, I should probably do this now. I'm starting to see what I should do. And so in your second game, you will be competitive. It's not simple in play, but it's simple to understand after your first game.
It's gettable. Yeah.
Yes. Luck versus strategy.
I think this game has lots of luck. I meant strategy. There's a lot of strategy in what you do. In the order you do your actions, if you're going to take advantage of your resource or your special power, if you're going to take advantage of what your neighbors are doing, right? So there's this thing on the bottom that you can, when your neighbors do something, you get an extra bonus. It's all about getting extra bonuses and what order you want to get those extra bonuses, really. Because there's these upgrades and there's all these things you can do, and you choose the order of what you want to get when you want to get it. And so I think there's a lot of strategy in this game.
This is a low luck game. There are some cards that you use in combat that you draw, and if you get the high value card, that's pretty lucky. And also cards that come off of the factory deck or your objectives you get assigned or whatnot. There's a little bit of luck. However, I think there's so much strategy in this game. This does have a combat element, but despite that, I would still think a lot of people are saying this is a blend of Ameritrash and Euro, and I find that this is still a little bit more Euro, which is good. The battles and the combat are few in number, but they're important when they happen, because if you are the aggressor, you could lose points because you send workers home and you lose popularity. At the end of the game, the higher your popularity, the more points you'll score for each public objective. So I'd say that we've had about 4 fights on average in each of our games, even though we have these mechs and I have a bear, for goodness sake. My spirit animal here is a bear, and yet I only get into a fight once, twice a game, and maybe somebody else does the same thing. You can only put out 2 stars, up to 2 stars, by winning a combat. So it's not the focus of the game, but it's part of the strategy. And that's not the only strategy. The resource is trying to figure out if you want to max out the popularity versus just trying to get a big spread on the board, making other people lose their popularity as they send you home, or getting more points at the end for controlling territories, or just trying to race to the end to get more points for stars. There's a lot of strategy in this game. Fun versus boring. I find this game to be very fun. I've enjoyed myself each time I've played it. It does have a very like just nice tension to it. There's the
Mm.
tension of because you can only choose to do one of these actions per turn, and then you can't do that same action twice in a row. And so there's the question of, do you run for a factory card so you get more mobility? Do you just try to stay local, and then do you try to produce a lot? But as you produce, it gets more and more expensive as you put more workers out. There's just that tension that you're playing with is, can I get my stars out before the people? And do I want to, or will I end the game prematurely? Lots of fun playing this game, and I've enjoyed myself, like I've said, every time.
Yeah, I would agree. I think this game is super fun. I really like the story aspect of the game. I talked about it with some other people the other night, and this is a story that's happening. You're upgrading yourself and making yourself better. You're building this better world. Also, these cards that you can have encounters with have awesome artwork. So the whole board is really awesome and art, and it has awesome things that you can do to get benefits. Tamper draft documents to keep the family together. Deliver draft conscription and payment. Strong arm the family to take over their farm. So good, okay, bad, but then the benefits, you get benefits for each of those things. So there's a story aspect to the game that I really like. I think this game is super fun. Choosing what strategy you want to do, how you're going to choose to win, super fun. Yeah.
On Board Game Geek, I would rate this 10 out of 10. I'm always ready to play. I won't turn it down.
10 out of 10 too. It's super fun. Yeah, I'm excited to play more. Scythe. We've presented the evidence.
You be the judge.